Now, for those that just came in, I'm waiting till I see signs that I am officially live before I start the live, so bear with me. I am live, alive. Thank goodness, right? Y'all can agree. Thumbs up, share if you're happy I'm alive. Listen, let me tell you something. It is so much that has taken place. It takes me a moment to discern everything in its entirety. You know, you know what I find about self-realization, okay? About my own personal energy. It's important because if you're someone like me, right? Just in general, a human being, you know, if you're like me, you automatically assume that you did something. If someone meets you with aggression, if someone has some sort of gripe with you, right? Some of y'all, because y'all watch my lives often, you know, I ask the big G, right, which is God. I ask the big G, did I do something in a past life to end up in the position that I'm in? And he said, no, you didn't do anything. And just like that, you know, that's how God is, right? And so I attribute it to generational hex and how strong they were in the time of originals. Now, those that push hexing people and cursing people don't realize that that energy returns to them. And it's something crucial when it does. And, you know, it's not a good thing to push hex for finances. Because when the right ones get a hold of you, because you have no spiritual covering, they go in. And when they go in, it's something crucial. Now, let's talk about the heavenly waters. That's where I'm originally from. So, I know a lot about the heavenly waters. The Cancer sign, as far as astrology systems go, will say that you are from the moon. No one is from the moon. The Cancer zodiac sign in its entirety gives you a sign that you are surrounded by Sarpas, which is affiliated with the heavenly waters. So not every Cancer zodiac sun sign is from the heavenly waters per se. This is why the Cancer zodiac sign is mystical, because they gave us the moon. They gave us the moon. So it's not exact and it's hidden for a reason. I know that I am a part of the heavenly waters body because that is what God told me when he said I was a cherub, which you call a cherubim in the angel hierarchy. That's where I'm originally from. So those that seen the last published upload, it speaks about the reign of the Neter, the Neteru, the Kisifio, and Sarpas. So we know that that is a family. Y'all want to talk about the Lakar family and the Bar family, which is also associated with heavenly waters. They are known even in this day because these are the major figures which y'all could attribute to Tudors. Those are the original Tudors. They were supposed to have wealth and they're going to continue to to have wealth. That's just the way it is. And if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have the system that we have currently, even if you say it's a part of the matrix. They are monumental in science. They are monumental in the world. That name rings bells. The Laka Nabar family. So the reason why it's important is these are the real wealthy. Y'all don't know that because you say the Rothschilds and this and that and that and this. You don't really know because they don't talk about it. They be about it. They be about it. Listen, when I said if our bodies and livelihood were to lie in the hands of someone that you consider black, real black, as y'all said, we would be done for. Because it is a free fall, a brawl, especially in these times. Y'all want to feel like, I don't know what I'm talking about, but it's displayed even in the minute fraction of the industries. That's it. They show us what they would do for us. They would floss, stunt, spat on you if they could. And all of them are just alike, no matter what nationality they are. That's why it's an industry. And they're all affiliated because they're a part of an old paradigm. They don't know that, but they will shortly. The stuff that I have bore witness to spiritually and physically is a lot. And if the God, universal life force source, the great I am, the most high, didn't put me in an energy where I would be stoic in a sense, it would be hard for me to make it through. So I give all the glory to God. Yes, I do. Because if others knew the severity of what was taking place and what would continue to take place if this paradigm shift ascension did not happen, y'all would say, why am I here? God must not like me. Because that's what I said. I said, God, out all the whole occulto cosmos and beyond the cosmos, you put me here? Like, this is a prison. The realization that we are imprisoned in a prison, and some are imprisoned in a prison within a prison. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? It came to me in my 30s. That means we are in a body, in a world, and some others are in their body, in a world, behind bars. Now that's even worse. That's even worse. You know, so this is the thought. This is the thoughts of intellectuals, not even ascended beings. Like the average person that is an intellectual thinks that. Because even if you haven't experienced the wealthy side of life, you start saying it's boring. Like, okay, look, I realized this lifetime that the experience happens when you're on your way. Like, for instance, you're getting ready to go to the club. This is this is on the bottom. Okay, this is on the bottom of an example. You're on your way to the club. Everybody think all the fun is gonna happen at the club. The fun happens before you get to the club, especially if you're with your girls. Okay, you're all getting ready, y'all sharing moments, talking, laughing, kikiing, ha ha, hee hee, ha ha ha. Then you get to the club, you start drinking and socializing, and that just seals the deal, put the icing on the cake. When I got in my 30s, I realized that the experience is going to the club. not being at the club. So it's a whole event. And so I said, everybody wants to start the fun when they get to the location. The whole experience should be fun. Granted, I understand that you're in a new place, okay? You're in a new place, everything is new. But then you got to worry about going out. Like around New Year's, I was speaking to a lady, right? And she happened to be a hotel concierge. And she told me, like, I'm talking to her, and she said, well, basically, my sister got ROBBED because she was in Vegas at one of the top notch, okay? And she's on the phone talking to her sister. And the sister is saying, well, look, they just came in my room and took everything. You don't expect that to happen at 5-star establishments. Of course, it was the the service people. Of course, it was. Who else is, you know? You expect that to happen at 2-star, 1-star, but but it's like you spend all of this energy and time, and then you get upset if someone don't show, and if something not right, and it's all, and now it's even worse, y'all, because when a lot of people get to these places, whether or not if you go by yourself, the camera goes on, and it just becomes content and not an experience. And then if you're in a system where he is totally flipping it upside down, you don't even get paid the amount that you spent to go. So it's like, it's about the experience. So I say that to say, a lot of people travel outside of their country, outside of their state, to go be somewhere else. And with the introduction of social media, you don't even enjoy being there. And right now, it's not the time to, think the whole world is about content, especially when you're in an unfamiliar territory. I know, when you get money, you say the world stops. Look, I got money, the world stops. I'm gonna be all right if I go over here. And then you find out you're not. Then people start learning the concepts of embassies and all of everything. Oh, this is what this is for. What if the system don't like you? You just stuck over there. They're not coming to get you. Yeah. I mean, the thought that could happen. And then you got to depend on family and the way that these ones are. I got money. I'm not doing nothing. I'm not doing nothing for my family. You better not go out of the country. You better not go out of state, because that will be the time that the big G say, I got you where I want you. That money was meant for something else. The big G said, I got a plan for every last strand of hair on your head. Every last one. Let me tell y'all something. When you have the pleasure of communicating with God, you cannot just tell God a tall tale and think it's going to be okay. Because what if he's in that energy where he just said, look, I'm about to drop you. What if he is not in the energy of, we're going to give you a pace, a slow descension? What if he just said, today is your day, and you just fall out? Because we talking about God. He is the one that controls all of your breathing. So I know it's popular to say, I thank God, I thank Jesus for all of my money, and that's it. God, Jesus, thank you for all of my money. Thank you. I said I was going to do this, but I got money. So God, talk to me when I ain't got no money. Then I can promise you a whole bunch of nothing. And if you like me, you'll go for it again. In my last life, I talked about beings going in and out of bodies, some knowing and some not knowing. I'm talking about the person and the ones in their environment. I heard something, right, yesterday that not only upset me, it upset the whole entire heavenly waters. Do you know how big that galaxy is? Now, when you got a galaxy that don't like you, imagine that. Let me tell you something about a license to carry. I serve a God that will back it up and make it misfire. Do you understand that? Now you understand that is why Ogun Osifio is feared like he is. Because he will blow out a tire and make your car flip. And he ain't the only one. Now listen, y'all. It has to come down to I'm telling y'all the facts. This is why they go to these pantheons. Yes, I am one. This is why they go to these pantheons for protection, because they know what they are capable of in other countries, not so much in ours. Now, I see it. If you don't know the difference between Jesus and God, then this is not a life for you, because you still need to live a few more times. And I'm talking about in separate bodies, not in the current one. That means you need to croak, come back, croak, come back before you understand the goodness of God. Because some has had it entirely too good their entire life. Wonder why that is. Could you imagine not ever having to want for anything? It kind of builds up a this energy of there's a system that is set and the system is perfect, and I've never tried to be a part of the system because I didn't need to, but that's going to be my excuse today. People that have that type of energy always end up somewhere else stuck. Always. When they can afford to go out, travel, go on cruise, and things of that sort. Y'all, let me tell you what God will do. God will show you something, tell you something. And because some of y'all need to understand that I already know that some of the information that you're going to hear from God Himself, which I am going to confirm for you through lives and readings, you're going to say, no way. No way. There's absolutely no way. But the way God does it, and I don't know why, y'all. Some of the stuff that was told to me, I was like, what? It don't even make sense. It don't even make sense. You could, when you hear certain things about certain individuals, right? You say no way because of the way they present themselves to you. You say there's no way. But when it comes from God, you say, okay, well, it's a possibility. And especially if you've been following me for a while, you say, okay, well, look, hey, there's a possibility. This is why I value my reputation and honesty and integrity. This is why. Because of the position that I have, that some don't see as valuable yet. Yet. God has a way of testing you. Because some things that I have accomplished, some didn't believe I could do, even in my own family. Do you understand that? I have a whole professional life that most of my family don't understand. They don't know what I've accomplished because they didn't care enough to know. And that is a brutal, honest truth. The reason why I am telling you is because I know that some of y'all are in places where you're going to be told things and you're going to question them. I'm saying, keep an open mind. Keep an open mind. One of the conversations that I had with Anisha took me back, right? It was the realization for me and for them that my whole existence was built off of distortion. That meant to me and to some of them that I would not know nothing about them if it had not been for distortion. Do you understand that? When I said I am the one appointed to correct the mistake that other people made, y'all didn't get it. I was asked, why did I have an ankh? She said, that is not for you. And I said, why not? I like it. I have a connection to it. Why you have these paintings? Why you have these statues? Because I have a connection to it. This is what made me gravitate to this item and pick this up. And they said that is because of who you are, but that is not for you. And with sadness in my heart, I said, all right. Because they know I still have artifacts that are their symbolism. And when I touch them, they want me to throw them away. What is left? And I agreed to it, even though I don't want to and I didn't then when God said. There's a painting. When they explained to me what was actually taking place in that painting, I said, all right. Because the person that actually did that illustration in the beginning is a nature. And when he seen it for the first time, he said, why do you have that? That is my wife and my daughter. I said, I threw it away. And he said nothing for a long time. Some of you have ran across it because it was on my table when I did a reading. This stuff, all of our concepts, all of our thoughts, all of this system was built and based on their thoughts and their work. Imagine that. And it has energy on it. They know when it's something that belongs to them. And they say, why do you have it? But because I'm a cherub, they're not meeting me with aggression. Because, these ones here, they won't even ask you. They'll just make a typhoon go through your domain. What I felt, y'all, was them feeling my sincerity. Because I told them, if it had not been for this stuff, I wouldn't know anything about you. It was a heart-wrenching moment for all of us because it's truth. I'm not going to go into the conversations that was had after that, but it needed to be said. So all of y'all that are running around with artifacts that belong to Natures and Natures, it's going to come a point where they're going to say, why do you have that? Because they know who you are. They're not going to explain to you the original meaning, the purpose, none of that, because you're not one of them. I'm a descendant of a Nasakensina, a Nasawa, a Naturu, a Najar. Descendant, which y'all call Tudor. They don't call Tudor. Even they don't want me to have it because it's not for me. The Hollow Two Truths is not C-O-U-R-T. That's not what it is. Let me tell y'all something. I woke up to some news that let me know for sure that a cycle was completely closed. When we're talking about transcendence, passing over, being no more, unalive, that does not move me like it moves the average person because I know there is an existence after life. I know that. It does not, even the concept of biological family, it means something different to me because of the experience that I had. And anyone that has to deal with an ONJ, NSVJ, and others which we're going to get into is going to ultimately feel the same way. When I say it, it's always someone that has access to you that takes you out. The story of Cain and Abel is so true. On so many different levels, in so many different regions, in so many different Masiki dynamics. Y'all, there's a coldness associated with living. It's almost as if you get to a certain point and you like, what is it? Like some people, they say, well, we get to travel, we get to see all of the beautiful things, experience all of this beautiful stuff. And that's what makes life worth living. Some say family. There's all different type of reasons why. People say living is worth, our type of living is worth it because you get to do all of this stuff and all of the time It's always associated with money for those that have it for various reasons. Power, dominance. For me, my excuse was my children. That was enough for me. No, just my children. When that is stripped away from you, it becomes like it's whatever. It gets you ready for a different type of brawl. You know, I've spoke about those that have never been popped before. If you've never been popped, SHOT, you are quick to say that you're going to pop somebody. This is the type of stuff that has to happen to individuals that overuse it. Because once it happens to them, let me tell you, I have been capped before because I was in the right place with the wrong person. With the wrong person. Because that is how angels get hemmed up. Because if you're not sharing your good energy with someone that has a spiritual T on them, you won't encounter stuff like that. Now it's the energy of when you think about it, you're going to fall. That is coming from celestial bodies that the God puts out here around me daily. Because some of these ones are so arrogant and so full of themselves that they believe they can say and do anything to anyone, especially someone like me that they feel has no money. But my circle is something wicked. They get down like, okay, you think this is just a YT issue, right? You get into those meetings and everybody looking at you like you a T-bone steak. Then you say, well, this is not really a YT issue. This is the aftermath of what took place in the 5D. It's trickling down in my 3D experience. Because, oh, it's just ether. Nobody cares about ether. She does not have any status. She does not have any wealth. She has no influence. Do you know how many of my family members that don't even know I have fame? They don't even know that. The way I am, and this is simply why it's like that right now. The way I am, if I had it to give, I would give. I would give. And this is why I don't have it. Because I'm in harvest season. What does that mean, Ether? That means I am reaping what I sow. And when people feel like they ain't got to do absolutely ish, after the BG said, yes, you do. That means now you brawling with him. We ought not forget who puts the air in our lungs. There is so many that fear afterlife. When you're an angel, you don't fear afterlife. It's just something that is ingrained, instilled in you. Some other type of beings don't either. It's because they don't know they have to. There was a point where I heard screams, not in my domain, but in my mind ear, the part of my mind that is an ear, a receptor or something, right? And I said nothing, because I already knew what it was. I already knew what it was. I take it that most angels, when they hear it for the first time, they just like, oh, because you already know, because you didn't encounter so many diabolical people. But no one ever feels like there's an afterlife that reached that type of existence. Look, I can go around seeing what I want, doing what I want. It's not a problem. They believe in God one day, the next Jesus, then Baphomet, the devil. You know what I'm saying? Whatever floats your boat, whoever they're in front of, you know, whoever they feel like they gonna gaffle, get over on, use. The thought, the thought that a lot of this, especially the ONJ experience, right? Because that's the only thing that I can reference to, because y'all, I done talked about it a little enough, excuse me, for y'all to understand that that's one dynamic of beings that go in and out. But just to know that these ones come from a certain era, a certain system that decided that they wanted to be able to use your family members' bodies, other family members' bodies, simply for the purpose of spending money and jumping in the bed. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They just, and destroying lines. Destroying your heritage. They wanna go in. These ones are middle-aged beings. They say, hey, look, I know that this person and this person created an offspring. So that means that that is that being in that body. And now, just within the last 24 hours, they understand, hey, just because that body exists doesn't mean that that is the being that did something to me when we lived. Go figure. But these ones automatically thought that these bodies were clean spiritually, and they are not. So they're currently trying to figure out if they want to continue to use the sequence of bodies, because within the last 5 hours, a lot of angels understood that these beings that we are hearing circulate through 7 sisters. So one being goes in this body while the other one is in another, then it jumps over to another, like spirit chasing or something. Of course, there's a heart in it. The body is still breathing and living, and the original being is there, not knowing what's happening inside of their body. Some do, but some don't. And all these beings are in and out souls. Being is in and out, in and out, in and out, maneuvering this body in the way that they see fit. These ones that we have to get into a spiritual tiff with for the angels are ones that feel like they were assigned that body because they're supposed to spend the money that body accumulated. Here it is, you saying, oh my God, what happened? What happened to my family member? Why they treat me like this? And these beings is in and out, and they just want to taste food for the first time. They just want to lay down with this person that they laid down with in a past life again. Like the meaning of life has been reduced to that. This is what angels go through, y'all. Some of y'all, your angels and don't know it. This way, especially you practitioners, because that was X. They put you in a system where you didn't believe in anything associated with Catholicism. So who you are would be hidden, especially if you are someone under Abatala's reign. Abatala, because they say it different depending on which region. Listen. Let me tell y'all. Y'all keep wanting to know about Shango, and I done said several times that Shango you don't want to talk about Shango. It's the reason why he is represented under justice. Just leave Shango alone. Some say Shango. Yes, it's the same one. I said, when I say his name, that mean he about to be awakened. I don't know why y'all keep it. Listen, because God took his name from me for 2 years, y'all. Almost 2 years, and it was for a reason. Now that I didn't say that, because y'all keep saying Shango, 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 like you're looking for any one. You think that they are a part of a different system, and they're not. Listen, y'all. The realization that the value you put on money is not the same that a lot of people put. Some people will take you out for $5. Now back to what I was talking about. They come in. I heard a group say, we are the ones that built that bank account. A combination. 6 of them. So they feel like they're supposed to spend the money. And when I heard she's not going to address any karmic debt that is owed to her, I said, all right. Like an angel is supposed to be scared of a pew pew. You better hope it don't backfire. Because then that'll be a real oops there. Y'all, it's how you gotta be. Because everybody figured they got it out. You know, they got it all figured out. They got it out. Because now he's going to go clean his, so he thinks. He's going to go and test it in the backyard. This one knows his work because he used his last piece of ammo on the first of the year. So he know he just waiting for someone to sell him some more ammo. You're going to be waiting a long time, broski. I say just pick it up and throw it at him. Pick it up and throw. Pick and throw. Pick and throw. It's not many people that when they brandish, you don't think it's a possibility it ain't even got no ammo in it. You know what I'm saying? This is why when they want you to know that it's loaded, they just come out. They want you to know, right? Because that's the purpose. That means, right? If it gets to that point, that means that's how you should come, right? You're not gonna come and show it and let someone know that you have it, you're gonna come out just you gonna come out like that, right? Because that means is really body and is really rough. But you got that type of energy with somebody that did something to you. Now y'all getting what I'm putting down. When somebody put a spiritual T on you in a current life or in the past one, they don't even know why they have so much hostility and aggression and anger towards you. And it's usually the ones that put a spiritual T on you. Because when they are met with aggression from someone that does things to them and have in a past life, they don't have that type of energy. It's always, hi, want some coffee? Let's go to lunch. Because those are the ones that have immediate access to them. I'm 100% sure. If somebody were to brandish to me, right? I don't think they would get a chance. First of all, I'm not talking about in a past life, because I done went to sleep and been no more so many times since I got popped. It came down to a point where I started levitating. Once you start levitating, that means, you know what I'm saying, you already ascended to something else, somewhere else, because that is a form there. When you levitate, that means you passed over. You know what I'm saying? You passed over. When you levitate, you was out of there at that point. When I levitated, I was asked, well, not asked. They said, you have a choice. That was the end of my assignment right there. Do you want to go back into your body? And I said, put me back in my body. I told you, the Osikinas dressed in all white. It was millions of them. And they had me lifted over their heads, passing me through like what you see at rock concerts. When they fall into the audience and they pass them through. That's what they did. And it was one face that was of disdain. Coincidentally, it was that thing that decided that she was going to do a short on me. It was her. I seen her. And I said, yeah, I laughed. I said, And she was upset about the deck that I used, which was the Orisha deck. That was a mixture of pentagens, Dophios, pantheons, demi-Gs, and all other type of beings, including Asur, which is not a part of the Orisha system. But hey, because Yoruba culture is my culture. You don't know what your culture is. You know what you were told. But see, I tend to tick people off in that sense. So I'm confident about that. I'm 100% confident. If I ever been confident of anything, is I know a system that'll back that thing up. I'm for sure about it. Like I'm willing to bet. So if you feel like you got ammo and you got and it's not gonna happen to you, you must not be pointing at me because that's the only way. I'm for sure about it. I'm gonna say you won't even make it to me. I'm for sure about it. You're talking about that's not fair. He is talking about that's not fair. And see, now they're going over there. So when he comes into that studio with his mouth cracked, don't act like you don't know it's him. Because that's what all you producers do. So we're gonna move on. This is why when y'all get in those clanks and you end up behind bars, we seeing offer goes to you. And you in there in the PC unit. Yeah. Well, yep, that's a cherub, y'all. The one, and he is just finally a Diablo laughs because they are serious. the, the Diablos, the 13s, not the GANG that y'all feel like. We're talking about the 13, which is way more than 13 individuals. These ones are serious. If I can get them, the 13s, they always cracking jokes with me. But the Diablos, if I can get one of them to laugh, I know we in different energy. Cause they don't laugh at all, period. It's a mixture of El Salvadorian, Mexican, Cuban, Brazilian, and Sudan. And they are no joke. The Asian fraction do not talk. It's Summarize, Coffee O's. They do not talk. What y'all call entities. Y'all don't get it that Mazu, Dragon Girl, that's a part of my team. They don't talk. And when they talk, it's to say 3 things to me, and then they move on. Empress Ta, Shazua, is not something to joke about. Mazu is feared for many reasons. Dragon Girl is who you're talking about. That is not a misconception about fishermen. It is completely true. So, listen, y'all gonna get some interesting information. Some of you have already gotten it from somewhere you least expect. And it's gonna be like that throughout the duration of this week, this weekend, and this next week. Because as things unfold, more things is going to happen. One of them said, look, everybody already know I talk in my mind, so I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there that it is me. He did it willingly. Sometimes you have to have a lot of stuff going on that discombobulates you to stand in your truth. But he did it. That's the point. The reason why they want to keep it a secret is because they want to get over on people. They want to upset you with a setup. And who better to participate in it than the ones that look you in your face and talk to things that are otherworldly? Now, what upset me was what I heard about a family member that I know don't deserve that. And so, you're going to see a different type. If that being come back, you're going to see a different energy from me. Because now I feel like I have to protect them physically. Not just spiritually, but physically. The angels know of all fractions what I'm talking about. Because they didn't experience it. Now that the Ophanums, they was, that was a dumb one that said, give me the strength to talk to you. Because when you going in there crushed already. You're going in there crushed at the realization, hey, I knew that it was a possibility that we was going to come to blows. But I just didn't believe that it would happen in this way. And then for that person, because of that person? Like, that makes it even worse. Are you doing me dirty for this person? Look, if you went through anything that I went through, you there's nothing under the sun, including your spiritual spouse, that'll make you feel hopeful about relationships. Because you're gonna be like, oh, what? If you like me, he said he ready for his next assignment. I don't know why you said that. God want me to tell you that when I said that, I encountered you. So here we go. It's because it's like certain real men, angels, believe they gotta be in certain places at certain times. Not just to fulfill contracts, to protect physically the women that are angels because of who they hear talking. Divine intervention is right, because if you live in a world where people have programmed you to believe that you could take someone out that is an angel without no regard, there has to be divine intervention there. That means someone that you least expect is going to come out of somewhere and meet you with that same energy. Because they're supposed to. When a male, gets aggressive with a woman, a female that does not open the door for it, that means she needs male physical protection because of where she's at. That's not me, but he feel like it's me because who's running their mouth? That's how I became so popular with different fractions of angels. Because it's like, look, dude, she ain't said nothing to you. Why you taking so much offense to her speaking her truth? Why you even watching? They HATE watch. They don't like me because I am a cherub. To them, that means I'm unbreakable, y'all. That's what it means. She not gonna sell her soul. I don't like her. She not finna gap it open for me. Even though I look better than all the dudes that I look better. I got more money. I got what I could. No, you cannot, and they know it. Even if I was 1,000 years old and it was just for a good time, there is absolutely no chance. And it has nothing to do with my spiritual spouse and everything to do with who I am. Y'all got to stop putting it on the man all the time. Oh, it's because she would. It's because they have a spirit. No, it's because I don't want to. How about that? How about that? It's because I don't want to. Do y'all understand that there is women and men out here that don't sleep with you because they don't want to? Like, if you don't they don't care how fine you is, how much money you got. Usually they are angels because everyone else is acceptable to the BS. Even if, look, my thought process is, check this out. Even if you happen to encounter someone that got a lot of money, that don't mean it's your money. That don't mean they're good. And how much of the behind you got to do to get that? What do you think? You just gonna wake up one day and they're gonna buy you a luxury vehicle? Like, how your game is the finesse game. Like, that's how you gonna spend how many hours of the day do you have to put in? They feel like it's a career, like content creating. Let me spend the money that I do make on my outside appearance, so when I go around them, I can look like the perfect person. Newsflash, because some of y'all need a reality check. If you have a 27-inch wig on your head, and they may believe that it is your hair, guess what? It's not your hair. So the image that they have of what they feel is the perfect woman for them, when they realize that it's fake. They're gonna say, this is not what I want. Y'all can't, if they could just learn how to sew hair to the scalp, a lot of women would be happy. Because look. You can sew it to a braid, but look, you can't run, like the machine kind of sew. Like I seen an android, right? Like a humanoid, you know. This thing it was on the gram. This was years ago, right? It was laying back, and it had a machine stitching the hair in the scalp. I said, "Wow, that looked like that hurt." Is that a new technique for like because they have remember those places like Bosner where they go and they I don't know how they do it. They detach of each follicle to the hair, and so you know what I'm saying. So I'm like, wow, that looked like, you know what I'm saying. But then it dawned on me that that was an android, a humanoid. They do have them, y'all, like in existence. Not where I'm at, not where you're at, but they do have them. Listen, they see an android like phone, no, like a person. So if they could just come up with that, it's somebody that is open enough to stick their head under a machine, not a person doing it, but a machine, because it's quicker, just so they could seduce someone that is wealthy. This is how they feel like they're going to live their life in their 20s and some in their teens. I'm not going to have any children unless I bag someone that is wealthy, and I have to be married at least 2 to 6 years. I'm going to put myself on a strict regimen, a diet to where I don't gain much weight. She's thinking about going over there to have the color of her eyes. She's taking her hair vitamins and nail, and Cofio vitamins, so her hair will be long and healthy. She's building her career on her image. Her lips are starting to look a little wrinkly, so she decides now that she might need collagen injections. So you better hide your purse. Because these are the ones that feel like everyone around them is a means to their success. This is what Abomination has created. Imagine that. Everybody already feel like we're shifting in because more of these celebrities, it's not just actors anymore. Now it's the rap industry that is up there with the president. You know where we going. Hey, when Arnold Schwarzenegger became mayor, I said, what? We talking about the Terminator? Like, this is symbolic here. Like, even my young, uneducated self knew, like, hey, wait a minute. Where am I? the, the Terminator? Something is wrong. It is seriously wrong. I guess it is depending on how you first meet someone. If you're introduced to someone like him, and shout out to his career and his accomplishments, right? But if you meet someone like him and you know him to be a member of Congress, right? Then he's a member of Congress, and then you just find out, oh, back in the day, he was an actor. But when you're introduced to him as an actor, and then you find out that he is a member, you're like, wait a minute, what is happening? Where am I at? Because it just looks like oil and water. It just looks like oil and water to someone like me. Because you feel like that type of position requires you to be a certain way, to live a certain life. And so when I see, you know, especially the rap industry. I can almost take the actors, okay? Because I mean, he opened up the door for that, okay? In my opinion, there's also been wrestlers. Even even the wrestler wasn't a major blow as the actor, because it's like I do remember him because I've actually seen him wrestling in person. A lot of people can't say that. So it's like, I guess I guess that I used to go to the Cow Palace with my grandfather when he was living. So it's like, when you start seeing these introductions, I guess I am like an old timer. You're not just ready. It's like, uh to me, that's not an industry. It's juris, but a dange in front of it. To say that that type of astute positions is like, no, it's not. If someone thought that, I would not support that person's walk. I wouldn't, because it is way more. That is the most important career that you could ever have, to hold those type of positions, from the desk clerk to the big office. So it's like, I feel like, of course, it's been happening, out of my view, out of my knowledge, because, hey, they contribute. That it is what it is. I'm just saying, when you see the rap industry up there is looking kind of diabolical. I'm just saying, because of the energy that they present in their daily lives. Like, that's not a good representation of black people as a whole. Not. I would rather see actors up there than rap artists. And hey, you can say whatever. If we got 50 billion videos of you slandering people, walking around with your whole backside out, those illicit videos, like, that is not. I come from a timeline where you couldn't even hold that type of position if stuff like that was out about you. That's the timeline I come from. I understand that. Now you know that we have moved. We have evolved. But it's juris, but a danger in front of it. Because, like, what if people get petty? And and especially with AI. Like, now with AI, you don't know if it's true or not. Like, back then, even we all know, hey, they was using it even back then. But we could tell. The trained eye can tell. They're trying to make it to where you can't tell, though. The trained eye can tell if it's a face superimposed on a body. Okay? But now, because so many people is in agreement with satire, it's like, it's not real, but it is. And who's going to do something about it? And this is why I said it's juris, but a danger in front of it. Like, I feel like they should be separate. If they're going to be contributors, then let them be contributors. But as a nation, we have an image to uphold. That's how I feel. We don't want to see. Well, I don't. I don't want to see a scandal video with someone shaking the hand of my president, and then seeing the picture of their backside bent over with a candle sticking out their booty crack. You know what I'm saying? Any president. That's what I'm saying. Because y'all get sensitive because y'all act like y'all got some issues with him. And we know the issue is your zeros attached to your name. That's it. Because if you had some zeros attached to your name, you wouldn't have an issue with him. So we're going to stop the capping. You know, y'all not saying that about the leaders in the office that allocate all of these grants and stuff. Why y'all not coming for them in your own region? It's always the head guy. Look, I'm gonna go above your head, and I'm just gonna negate the fact that the person that you're supposed to go to first is responsible for allocating these funds and fixing all this stuff. No, we're gonna blame the Mr. P like everybody else do. No, because I might need to go over here and shake his hand when I see him or her at the gathering, at the recital. Y'all know what no, we know that he don't like him. We know she don't like him, so it's all in the family. Y'all know what I'm saying? This how they get down. Listen, that's why I said, especially in those that are predominantly urban, hued. That is, nope. It's one woman that got on here. I have not talked about it, but I seen her. Shout out to her. She said, y'all didn't. She said, no, because I see it coming. She said, the world need to know about this. I'm not going to go into it. She said, not my home. She said, I bought it. I bought it the first gazillion billion times. I've bought it all my life, but not today, honey. Ooh, I'm not even, she was serious about it, and her crew. She said, you're not blaming the white man today. You're not finna use that. Because everyone that had a responsibility, in her opinion, had the same color just about as her. Now that's facts. That's why I said, y'all could play that game all you want. Let me tell you something. I said 50 Cent for mayor. And hey, if he try to run, y'all gonna run out there and try to put him in the office, and you ain't gonna have absolutely nothing. Nothing. He gonna say cuts here, cuts there, cuts everywhere, cuts. And he gonna fund everything that he has that he has a hand in on the back end. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Look, then you gonna see do indictment. Because they believe they could get away with it. Whoop, sassafras. Because they believe they could get away with it. It'd be somebody sitting back saying, I got you. I got you. Look, I got you. And it'll always be someone that did not benefit from their reign. Y'all know what I'm talking about? That's how it is. All right, y'all. I've been on entirely too long. My point is, I wanted to talk about the cosmos, the galaxies, heavenly waters. That's what I wanted to talk about. The monumental reading that I published yesterday. I'm going to tell you right now, playlist it. And it's not because I want to see who all is watching, because that means nothing. I'm telling you that it's monumental. Because I'm not responding to any, remember that video with the star systems? I'm not responding to that, because that's how it was with the goddess reading that I did. Because I used those blue decks, that blue card system in there. And those that seen it benefited from it. Those that said, well, I don't see the Empress. You know, you don't know how to spot the Empress, that's why.